Hello, dear listener, and welcome to the Emily the Mystic Show podcast for an episode today that is all about the topic of love. Yay! We love love here in the Emily the Mystic universe. And I have the perfect person who is going to be sharing with us today some spiritual truth and insights all about this topic of love and manifesting love. And she is Nicole Naomi Sky. Nicole is an intuitive channel for divine love, as well as an Akashic Records channel, Reiki practitioner, divine feminine teacher, singer, songwriter, and artist. She has always felt deeply connected to the divine and like a bridge of two worlds. As Nicole grew up, she noticed the consistent connection between her spirituality and her physical life experiences. From channeling messages from her grandfather on the other side as an 8-year-old to channeling music and lyrics, manifesting the exact dating experiences she desired in love, and channeling love and life advice for friends, spirituality has been the common thread woven into Nicole's life. Nicole now spreads love, joy, awareness, magic, divinity, and positivity with her creations and business, Naomi Sky Life. Yay. Hi, Nicole. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Emily. I'm so excited to be here today and just get to dive into, with you and all the listeners, everything about divine love.
Amazing. And Nicole is such a light, you guys. She is so talented. Her gifts are amazing. And I've had the pleasure of mentoring her for, oh my gosh, how long has it been, Nicole? Like 6-8 months ish?
Yep, right around 8 months. Yes, that's correct.
Better half of 2025. And she also happens to live locally in the Philadelphia area, which has been super fun for me to get to know her better. So we're going to be unpacking a lot of spiritual truth today around love, divine partnership, twin flame relationships, karmic relationships, and this is going to be a really juicy episode. So we're very excited for you to receive it. And so, Nicole, let's get to know you a little bit better. Can you share with us your astrology, sun, moon, and rising?
Yes, I am a Sag moon, a Sag sun, a Libra moon, and a Taurus rising. So you can see there's a lot of that themes of the Venus energy just within my chart. And also with the Sag sun, definitely very optimistic and that arrow pointing upwards, which I think would be a good way to summarize my personality to anyone who doesn't know me.
Totally. And I am also a Taurus rising. And that is one of the things that Nicole and I bonded over. We seem to have parallel experiences and similar things happen, which is really funny when you meet someone of the same rising sign.
Yes, that's been one of the more fun and expansive, I feel like, experiences, just getting to bond with you over just some of the crazy synchronicities and similarities, which it's so fun when you do find those soul sisters in your community and in life to bond over.
100%. And what is your human design type?
My human design is a 3-5 manifesting generator. So for anyone who doesn't know what that means, I definitely embody the multi-passionate, multi-dimensional aspect of the manifesting generator. I have a lot of passion with working towards or in anything that I am excited by. And I do things through trial and error, which you will learn about in my story of how I manifested love.
Yes. And Nicole is a multi-passionate person. I mean, she's a singer-songwriter, which is so freaking cool. She's a content creator. She's a channel. She's a healer. Like, there's so many things. So we're just going to get to know a little piece of that today with the divine love manifestation work. So
Yes.
How did we get here, Nicole?
The best way I can summarize my story starts out with being an 8-year-old. My grandpa passed when I was 8. And when he passed, of course, I naturally felt sad. But that's really when I think I started to more tangibly understand my intuitive gifts and being able to be a channel. He wanted to get messages across to my grandma, who was still living at the time. And so I was guided to write emails or letters to her on her laptop and then print them out and exit really quick out of the Word doc, because this was back in the 2000s, early 2000s era. And I would run down to her and I'd be like, Grandma, like something's printing. I don't know what it is. And so there was this element of me with that experience where I really understood that like I was talking to him. And as a little kid, it's like, even though I was little, I could see that the adults around me, my parents, my grandma, like they thought it was amazing and sweet. But then at one point, a little later on, my grandma was dating again and she did remarry, happily for her. And he was an amazing man, but he kind of spoiled that experience accidentally. He said, like, oh, it's so nice of you to do that. And just from kind of observing the adults around me, I realized, like, oh, they don't get it. Like, they don't understand that this is actually my grandpa, like, delivering these messages through me. But the interesting part was I really trusted that. Like, I trusted that connection to him and that connection to the divine. And I feel like that's really been the common thread throughout my life is I just kind of keep trusting even when it doesn't make any logical sense and like other people don't get it, because I feel the truth in it. So for anyone out there who's listening, if you're on a journey of trying to understand your intuition and you're really deepening your own trust with it, one of the best guides for me has been to really tap into, does this feel accurate? Does this feel true? Okay, I see that whether it was a past ex or in that situation, my family members didn't really get what I was trying to share. The truth in it for me was so clear that I just kind of kept going. And so as I grew up, I started to naturally gravitate towards like learning about Reiki. Eventually, I got certified in that. The Akashic Records, I got certified in that too. And it just, my whole, I feel like life ended up kind of leading me up to see how much my physical reality is impacted by my spirituality. I've always really seen, I feel like, true to the core of who people are, even if on the surface, like there was a bad boy in school, which was one of my best guy friends in high school, or something that I would say characteristically from an external standpoint, when we look at people, like you'd be like, huh, like why are you friends with that person? Like I feel like it's always been that I could see the divine truth, and my intuition was really what guided me to see that and trust that for myself, even when it, like I said, doesn't make any logical sense.
And how does that connection with spirit come through for you? What was it like connecting with your grandfather when you were 8?
The first thing that I remember experiencing was that clairaudience, the clear hearing of these messages of like, he wanted to tell my grandma something. And so what I ended up doing, like I said, was to type it. I usually write a lot of things to really ground in that wisdom. Sometimes nowadays it looks like just grounding it into the notes app on my phone. And sometimes it is writing in a journal. But yeah, that was the first way that it popped in. And then as I got older, the claircognizance was just coming in really strong. And I didn't even know that term, but I knew as I was walking through life that I would just know something and I wasn't trying to. So in college, for example, my junior year, I had some wild physical experiences where I started to see my classmates and like people around my college campus. I would like see their aura colors, and I wasn't trying to at first. So it was kind of this really kind of shocking experience of what's going on. And I had to do some deep diving into spirituality. Luckily, I had already started deep dive into crystal healing and another healing art called Jin Shinjutsu, which is about the body and using the energy meridians to balance energy and make everything flow really easily and nicely for overall optimal health. But even with that, I didn't know that I could really do all these beautiful things, have these spiritual gifts, and that like I was able to see it physically. So the aura was the first thing that I started to see. And then the chakra imbalances and balances in people was another thing that popped out at me. Again, that claircognizance, just really that gift wanting to come online is how I describe it. And then the other thing, the other tangible physical experience I had was I was in music school at first for college. And as I was sitting in the audience, we had to watch each other perform. That was part of a class. I could see suddenly, I would just know, I'd have these messages pop into my head. Oh, if this person strengthened their core, or if this person strengthened this part in the back of their shoulder or the lower back, they would have a better performance because X, Y, and Z. And when that was happening, I was kind of like, what? like what's going on? But as I continued to learn more about spirituality and the clair gifts, I started to understand, oh, these are my clair gifts coming online. This is how I perceive the world. Maybe there's something that I'm meant to do with this gift.
Just amazing. And for the listener to know, I mean, Nicole is like such an old soul and a young person's body. It just like blows my mind. Every conversation that we have, Nicole's like, I had all these spiritual experiences in college. And I'm like, that is just so freaking cool to me. So we love to hear that.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's funny too because I remember for anyone out there who is starting on their spiritual track, their journey, their awakening and they're feeling alone, I do remember feeling that way in college pretty deeply because I would try to bring up like, oh, I can see aura colors or things in with my friends in conversation. And I remember some of them being like, whoa, like, how do you do that? And like, there were a couple people who were very interested to have their aura read by me and to know what chakras were strong versus weak and what they could do to strengthen those. And those friendships I've seen over time really blossom because it was a space for me to figure out who I was and deepen into those spiritual gifts that were coming online. Whereas the friendships that were like, huh, like, what are you talking about? I kind of started to see those drift away because they just didn't get how my physical reality is, how my perspective and what I see in my daily life, what that looks like, which is okay.
Oh my gosh, 100%. As you grow and evolve, we know that our relationships grow and evolve too, which is something we're going to be talking about today. Before we
Yes.
get into that, I want to know just a little bit more about your business and how you got into helping others with your spiritual gifts.
So, as I was graduating college, I started to have some more serious conversations with my parents about these are the different things that I'm interested in. One, which was music. And so I started to pursue that and I got signed. I manifested getting signed with a record label. I'd written down that I wanted to be signed with someone, a record label who had the same values as I did. And I manifested a record label experience that the one of the co-owners, they're a brother sister duo. They're from Philadelphia and they're very spiritual. So just kind of the different synchronicities that popped up, that was so beautiful to experience. And then as I was doing music, I just felt like, oh, maybe there's something else I'm meant to do. And in college, I did have the awareness of feeling called to be a life coach. And I figured, oh, I'll wait till I'm 30. That'll be the second career that I do and dive into. But as I was doing music, I just felt like something was missing. And the way the timelines worked out, I had manifested the record label signing. And I had also come across just from a synchronistic experience an Akashic Records teacher. So I ended up having a session with her. And at the time, I was really struggling with a past romantic relationship dynamic and an ex, and just feeling like I almost wasn't sure if there was anyone else out there for me besides him, which is crazy now looking back to think about that. But that's really how I felt. And I also had the awareness that if he was for me, like things would be going in a more positive direction. I would feel better. So I figured something is happening energetically that I can't understand right now. But oh, the Akashic Records, I feel called to explore this whole love situation with him through that, just with my teacher in a one to one session. And I remember after that first experience, I felt so much more clear. It felt like a veil had almost been lifted off, and I was able to see the purpose through that relationship with him and also able to see more clearly of what I wanted for myself. And the experience was really about what does love mean to me. My guides were coming in with all this information about this is why you attracted him, this is why your souls had this contract, but your experience was supposed to help you figure out what you want in love and clarify what you want in love. And in the meantime, I will say, even though I had not had a consistent, long term, healthy romantic relationship before, I was a person that a lot of friends came to for advice. So I was channeling and guiding others, and I kind of was confused as to like, I don't know why things aren't working for me, but I do know how good of a space holder and a listener I am. And I love love and I believe in it. So even when I was feeling really hopeless along my journey, I did believe there was someone out there for me. And the Akashic Records just ended up being that tool for me that clarified, helped me to clear the energy and get really clear on understanding what do I actually desire to experience in love, as opposed to all the things that were shown in movies and TV shows and that we grew up around. There's a huge difference.
So tell us a little bit about your love story.
My favorite thing to talk about. So after I did that one Akashic Record session, I ended up doing a second one in the fall. This is fall of 2021. I did the first one. It was September 1st, 2021. I remember it very vividly. And I did the second one on 11/11/2021. So as anyone knows, angel number 1111. And after that second session, I realized and had the awareness, the download from my guides of, you need to just go off the dating apps. Like, just go and focus on yourself, Nicole, for 6 months. That was the guidance that I got. And so I was like, okay, well, I want to manifest love. I know that I'm worthy of it. I really believe that my person is out there now after doing these Akashic Record session experiences. So I'm going to trust it. I know what my intuition is like. I know what happens when I trust it. I know what happens when I don't. And I'm just going to go for it and blindly trust. But I knew that it wasn't blind, really, because I had seen the evidence in my life stack up. So I went off the dating apps, and then 4 months later, I got trained to read my own records within that time frame. And 4 months later, during a workshop by my teacher at the time, I was guided to explore some more stuff about love. And my guides came in with these messages of, yeah, it's time to put yourself out there. You got to get back in the field. Like, if you want to play the game, you got to put yourself out there. And I was like, okay, interesting, because you told me 6 months, but you're saying that now I need to put myself out there now. And this is beginning of March 2022. And they were very insistent on, like, yes, like, green light, go, you need to do this. So again, I trusted that nudge. I went back on the dating apps, but instead of putting myself and trying to, I'll call it, market myself as like, oh, I'm beautiful, I'm hot, I'm young, like, look at me, I went back in with the energy of, I'm just going to go on and be myself. I don't even feel called to post bikini pictures or anything like that. I really just want to have this energy of me exuding from my profile. And so I put pictures of me with my dog. I put, I think, a couple other nice pictures, fun pictures, maybe a silly one or two. I answered the questions and was very open about my spirituality and what I do with music and spirituality. And I just found that the messages I received completely changed from before. So before, as anyone who's been on a dating app knows, you kind of get those messages of like, hey, what's up? Or the message of like, you're hot, and it's a nice compliment when you get something like that. But for most women who really want that loving, healthy relationship, it's not what you're hoping to hear from your person the first time they ever message you. So when I went back on in March of 2022, I was receiving very kind compliments like, your smile is so beautiful, and Spotify didn't have you listed as the hottest new single. Like, cute, funny, which I had music in my profile, so also really cute because of that, but cute and really funny things that felt very genuine. And I was like, wow, I just had this awareness that this was because I shifted my own energy internally, that I was experiencing this new physical reality. And I took screenshots of them, the pictures, the messages I got, even if I didn't match, because I was pretty amazed at the difference. I don't remember getting one of like, you're so hot. It's just like, it was very much like, you're so beautiful. It was this heart chakra, expansive, loving energy that I had not experienced being on a dating app before. And I will say, I also just went on Hinge. This is not an ad, it's just my story.
Love it.
But on Hinge was where I met my soulmate, and also how I refer to as my divine partner, my person, Sean. And he matched with me in the way that I wanted. I had set an intention that the person that I end up with, I really wanted to be someone, a man who pursued me. I didn't want to do the pursuing. I'd tried different things in my love life. And so he reached out to me first, and he used a line from, I now know it's from Step Brothers, but I did not know at the time, and I really thought he was being very funny. Oh, you're a singer. You must sound like a combination of Fergie and Jesus. And that's a line, like anyone who knows Step Brothers will know that is a line from the movie. But I didn't know that. And I saw
Of
like,
course.
oh, he used a funny line and also mentioned Jesus. Maybe it's because I have spirituality on my page. So I matched with him and laughed, and I thought he made that up all on his own, which again, now I know it's Step Brothers. He's told me we've been in a relationship now for almost 4 years. But so just even the first unfolding of that and how that occurred, it felt really magical. And the way that we messaged back and forth, it felt really thoughtful. I intentionally said at one point when we were starting to get to know each other just over messages before we even met, that I, want us to be thoughtful when we respond. So I'm not going to be quickly responding immediately, but I really want to be thoughtful with him. He loved that. He said that was the first time anyone's ever said something like that to him. It gave him space to focus on his work, like go about his day, and then intentionally message me. So we really got to know each other. We started to get to know each other through texting and messaging just on Hinge. And then it, went over after we had our first date and we exchanged phone numbers and everything. But it was pretty magical how different that experience was compared to what I'd experienced before.
I love this so much. Yes, girl. Yes. Beautiful story. Beautiful share. Can you just tell us a little bit about Sean, and then we'll segue into the rest of the episode?
Yes, so he is a video producer. He owns his own video production company, and the kind of cool thing is we're both very creative. He's very, very supportive about me and everything I've done and the ways I've expanded, invested in myself to grow as a healer, a spiritual teacher. So that's another thing I just want to share with people. If you're looking for your person, your divine partner right now, it doesn't have to be someone who's as into spirituality as you, as long as they respect you and believe, that works for you. I respect that. You go do what you need to do. I'll do what I need to do. I think that's all that matters. He does his own kind of stuff. A lot of it is exercise, movement, some journaling to clear his mind. So we really both value growth. And I think that that's something that I've seen has really benefited our relationship, that we have the same values.
Oh, that's huge. Yes. Well, we're going to keep talking about this as we get into the episode, but we also, Nicole and I set the intention for this episode. We want it to be informative around different aspects of manifesting love, because sometimes when we view things through a spiritual lens, it can help us make sense out of our past relationship experience and past connections that we've had through our life. So, with that being said, we're going to dive in to some of the high-level concepts with love and different types of romantic partnerships. So, Nicole,
Yes.
I'm going to invite you to take us on that journey now.
So, the first thing I just want to educate all of you on is what is the concept of divine love. So, for anyone who just wants to even break those two words up, divine means by God, and love, we know what that means. So when I say divine love, manifesting divine love, whether that be self-love or romantic love or in your career in any area of life, the concept is experiencing something that is of God, that feels genuine and pure and expansive. And when we look at love, just on a whole, yes, we do tend to think of it in a romance and dating and loving type of rom-com perspective, but there's so many aspects to manifesting divine love in our life. And that's what I'm excited to get more into with all of you in this podcast. So I did call Sean my divine partner. And what that means is someone who is in alignment with you and your soul's growth. So as we go through life, and we've all had different dating experiences, you kind of understand like what works, what you might be looking for in a partner and what you're not, what could be compatible and what's not, right? So the idea and the concept that my guides have really emphasized is important for me to share is a divine partner is someone who loves and accepts all of who you are. It's literally someone who is sent to you by God, source, the universe, goddess, that infinite intelligence, whatever you call that thing. And the beautiful part about that is it's an expansive experience for us then when we experience love. It's not just about this push pull that sometimes we see in the rom-coms and the TV shows and pop culture, but it's really about like we want to build a life together. We want to grow together and expand. I want to see you become your best self and you want to see me become my best self. And that's where I think there's a really beautiful opportunity for us to use spirituality as a lens and a way to reframe how we're thinking about stuff. So we'll get into all the different definitions of the different types of romantic partners that you can have. But when people really say that they want to manifest their person, husband, wife, fiance, boyfriend, girlfriend, what you're saying is you want to manifest your divine partner, the person that you can grow with. And I will also add a little asterisk of that doesn't mean they can challenge you because we're all different. So it's not like you two are going to be perfect and everything's going to be like, a perfect movie and there's not going to be any challenges. It just means that you two will work together to overcome those challenges that life may bring your way instead of working against each other.
Yeah, and I love that. And I think it's so important to mention that there's this interdependent equality
Yes.
about the partnership that's really mutually beneficial and focused on both people, and that you, like you said, grow and evolve together, whether it's through conflict, because every relationship is going to have conflict, or just growing individually within yourselves and then coming together as a team, as a partnership. Yeah.
Yes, and the one thing I want to add, Emily, since you just brought up conflict, was my background from college ended up I'm a Bachelor of Science in Communication Studies. And one of the things that I took away from a comm class that was literally called conflict management that opened my eyes up is conflict is actually an opportunity for people to come closer together. So people don't tend to get upset about things that they don't care about, which is why when we are in a romantic relationship and we are trying to navigate a conflict, navigating it together where we come together is a way more beneficial experience as opposed to coming at it from this perspective of you said this to me, like I'm really upset at you, and like now it's like the you versus me dynamic. That's where we don't want that. Like we want to work with our partner to, even through a conflict within the relationship, you want to grow closer together. And I think that's why the spirituality lens can help, and also communication tips can help as well.
Definitely. Couldn't agree more. Now, what's the difference between a divine partner and a soulmate?
So a divine partner could be a soulmate or a twin flame for some people, and we'll get into each of those definitions. But a soulmate is believed to be a more harmonious connection. So you might feel right off the bat, like I did with Sean. Sean is my soulmate, that it just feels like home, and I feel very safe and peaceful. But I'm also very attracted to him. I feel very passionate towards him, very much in love. It's just believed to be something that, like I said, the guides like to describe it as a harmonious connection. It feels safe, it feels comfortable, but it also does encourage you to grow. It's that team type of energy. Whereas a twin flame is, as the angels have told me to describe it, it is a relationship and experience that is meant to awaken you. And a lot of people get stuck on the concept of twin flame union. And the thing that I'm here to share with all of you here today is that twin flames are meant to anchor in the frequency of unconditional love. Yes, and this goes all the way back to Christ consciousness, and we can get into that if we feel called to dive into it. But the main thing that they want you to understand is the main purpose is to awaken, to expand, and to accelerate your spiritual growth and your journey. So even if two twin flames, a twin flame couple, does not end up together, they're still able to live out their soul's purpose individually on their own. And their soul is going to take those experiences and continue to create whatever they're meant to create here in life. And the other thing that they want me to add too is that as they have shown me, because like I said, I had a twin flame experience in college, so I can relate to anyone who might be going through that and is kind of wondering, is this my person? Is it the end all be all? And the interesting part about that, like I said, is we can get caught up in the twin flame dynamic, the idea of manifesting union. And what I'm here to tell you as a divine love channel today is that that's not really what is for everyone's highest purpose, because we need to look at what's also happening in our physical reality. And the way to really simplify it for anyone who's listening out there is to think, is this making me happy? Is it bringing me joy? Is it adding to my life? Because yes, the concept and the actual physical experiences that I've had, it's really beautiful. It's very expansive, but you don't want to be chasing after anything, whether that's a twin flame, another type of romantic partner, or anything else in your life, right? We want our lives to feel like it is created by us, it's intentional, it's purposeful, it's expansive, that we're building something that we can maintain and grow in. And so, for anyone who's out there and feels like they're stuck in that runner chaser dynamic, I want you to kind of sit with, does this feel healthy? Is this person showing up for me the way that if I take away the label of twin flame, is that person showing up for me in a way that I want my divine partner, my husband, my wife, whoever, to show up for me? Or is this something where maybe I need to understand the spiritual purpose of it? And maybe there's something else that's even greater that you haven't even imagined yet out there for you in love.
Yes, beautifully said. I want to unpack the spiritual significance of the twin flame a little bit deeper for someone who may
Yeah.
not know. Maybe they're not on the twin flame journey, or they don't
Mhm.
quite, or maybe they're not sure if they are or not. So, can you explain to us from a spiritual concept point of view what is a twin flame, and maybe some of the qualities or characteristics of what that kind of connection looks like?
So, a lot of people understand a twin flame to be considered mirror souls. That's another term that, if you had to kind of boil it down to, yes, the purpose is to awaken, but another way to see it is it's a mirror soul. So, a twin flame dynamic will reflect back all of your light to you, which means all of your gifts, all of the things that people love most about you. But it'll also reflect back your shadows, the things that you're meant to transmute and grow through. The hard part in a twin flame dynamic is a lot of people get stuck in that. They're not able to overcome the reflections because it's a constant reflection back and forth. Some people literally do say that a twin flame is one soul split into two. There's even other theories, I'll call it, about it. But the way that I've been guided to talk about it is it's a mirror soul. So it really does feel like someone's had very similar experiences to you. Like, even to the point of what your limiting beliefs are, maybe. And it doesn't mean maybe everything's the same. Like, you could have grown up in different sides of the country. You could have grown up being an older sibling and they could have a younger or be the younger one. I mean, but it, the experience of that reflection is, I think, the thing that is most challenging when you're navigating it. And it tends for a lot of people to feel a little, it can get to be toxic, but it definitely feels like a push and pull. And the point of that, the spiritual purpose of that, is because it's meant to expand you. You're meant to see, oh, I am great at this. Oh, I need to work on this. And then you're meant to transmute it and expand through it. So for anyone who is very spiritual, very intuitive, very psychic, what ends up happening that the guides have shown me with a visual is, if you were to meet your twin flame in, I'm going to use the rainbow, from going from red all the way up to like pink or white. If you meet your twin flame down here, for anyone who's watching the YouTube video, in orange, that would be level 2, let's call it. And you guys are in alignment because you're both in that color frequency of orange. But then as you start to accelerate and continue to grow, you are expanding into yellow or green or even blue. Well, you're on a different frequency then than the orange. And let's say they're meant to stay in that orange frequency. That's their highest timeline. It doesn't mean that what you experienced doesn't have a purpose, or that like you failed. Even, I think that's one of the biggest mistakes or misconceptions with people on their twin flame journeys. They feel like they failed because they didn't end up in union. You can still take all of the, like I said, lessons that you learn and the growth and use it in other areas of your life, because not every twin flame dynamic, as I've been shown, is meant to end up in union. Some of them are meant to take what they've learned and use it to create art or to write a book. Like, there can be so many ways that that really does play out. And again, it's really adding and expanding our collective consciousness. It's anchoring in the frequencies of unconditional love, but that doesn't mean that everyone gets a happy ending. And I think that that's one of the biggest blocks, because the twin flame journey is really meant to be a deeper initiation into divine love. That includes self-love. That means choosing yourself. So if it's feeling toxic for whatever reason, or you're getting to the point where it feels like you're kind of going and growing really fast at that faster pace than your twin flame, that doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. That just might be the soul contract that you two created for this lifetime, which means that there's another person that's a better fit for you and also for them too. And you can manifest that through really anchoring into and expanding into divine love in all the ways of all areas of life.
Yes, absolutely. So beautifully said and shared. And for my listener to know, I did not fully believe in the concept of twin flames. If I am being completely honest with you, I taught about it in my Akashic Records certification, which if you've been in the certification, you know, we go through all of these different definitions that Nicole and I are talking about today: the divine partner, the soulmate, the twin flame, the karmic partner. I teach about it. I was in a relationship with someone who I believed to be my soulmate for 10 years. And for me, that was a contract where we did grow together. We did love each other a lot. We did have a beautiful relationship, but there were things that were not meant to be aligned for the long term. And so when that relationship ended, it brought new connections, new relationships into my life, including a twin flame dynamic. So I'm sitting here today, listener, to unpack that I have been through the twin flame dynamic and relationship. And again, I did not fully believe in it until I was in it. And it is one of the most challenging, most excruciating, most intense, most personally growth oriented, evolutionary, activating experiences that to this day I have ever experienced. And it's a wild, wild journey. So I just want to say, like, first of all, from a personal level, having been through the dynamic, I can speak to the fact that it is going to challenge you and it is going to mirror back to you everything.
Yep.
Good and not so great. And from a higher spiritual level, what my understanding of it is that at some point in the journey of consciousness and your soul's evolutionary journey, your oversoul split into a divine masculine and a divine feminine counterpart. And those are two energies. That does not mean that you've had all of your lifetimes as either a man or a woman. Those are just the different energetic qualities of your oversoul. And that the person that maybe you meet in this lifetime as your twin flame is part of your oversoul. And they have chosen in this lifetime to be either in the predominantly divine masculine role or the predominantly divine feminine role. And you choose to come together in this lifetime to work out karma from your past lives and to activate each other into your highest potential or not. And to help you grow and evolve, to show you again your light, like what you said before, and also to help you heal from some of your deepest wounding. Because from what I have come to understand, being through the journey, your twin has been through a lot of the same life experience that you have. They have a lot of similarities to you. There's also likely a shared mission. Twin flames tend to have a similar mission and purpose on this planet. So there can be a lot of similarities, qualities, characteristics, traits. It's all super fascinating. But ultimately, it is a soul journey. Both of you are here on this planet at the same time to, like you said before, expand your consciousness and also expand source consciousness as well.
Yes, yes. And Emily and I have talked about this. It's amazing to talk to other people who have also been through a twin flame journey, because some people do not understand it. And I started to touch on this earlier, but not everyone has a twin flame. So it just depends on the soul contracts that you created with other souls in this lifetime. But the way Emily described it, of one person embodying more the divine masculine and the other embodying more the divine feminine, you still have both energies, masculine and feminine, within you, But if you think of like how you want to show up in a relationship, like I know for me, I really feel good when I'm in my femininity. So I would say and describe to people that I'm a divine feminine in a twin flame dynamic. The beautiful thing that I can also say, being on the other side, the happy ending of my own of all of that experience and growth and learning, is you will manifest someone who's able to meet you within that frequency. So Sean, in his own divine masculine energy, meets me in my divine feminine energy. I get to experience love with him in the way that I've always dreamed about and desired. And it honestly, even from the start, was better than anything I could have imagined because it's real. And that's, I think, the thing that sometimes on a twin flame journey, people can forget. Like, we can get caught up in the looking for the signs and the synchronicities, especially if you're in separation with, which for anyone who doesn't know, sometimes twin flames will come together. They might have a romantic relationship for a little bit, but then something draws them apart. They break up, they get separated. Maybe it's just long distance. It can look different in the physical reality for everyone. But the point of that is to, again, just expand your growth, to figure out what do you want to experience in love. And I really want to hit that home with people that just because you don't end up in union does not mean you didn't fulfill your soul contract. And an easy way to figure that out is, yes, come do an Akashic record session with me or Emily to really navigate that on a deeper level. But you can also just start by asking yourself today, what was the purpose of that? What did I learn from that experience? Because one of the things that I've been shown is the angels, especially when we talk about the spirit guides, the angels, Mary Magdalene, Jesus Christ, Mother Mary, they want us, God, source, universe, goddess. There's so many divine beings, spiritual teachers, and guides who want us to experience love. That is one of the most magical experiences we can have here on earth as a human. And when we, just even saying that right now, I have chills. When we think about that and then we take and apply it to the twin flame journey, it would make sense that at some point we boil things down to the more simplistic thing of, oh, is this making me happy? Is it healthy for me? Is it in alignment with my goals and where I desire to go? And the point of the twin flame, the soulmate, and the karmic partner, which we can define for you in a second, is to just be a tool. It's to help you understand what you're experiencing in love, because without words, we can't describe or gain clarity or reflect or, figure out what it is that we want. We have trouble. That's why we have language. And one of the things that Emily and I have also talked about is words are spell casting. What we say, we're constantly casting spells on ourselves and other people. And some of them can be really beautiful, like telling yourself, looking in the mirror and saying, I love you, and I'm beautiful, or I'm smart, I'm successful, and breathing life into all that you want to become. But sometimes we can also cast spells on ourselves in a negative way too. So just even being mindful about how we're talking about things. And you can be aware that this person is a soulmate, a twin flame, or a karmic partner. But even within that knowledge, don't get attached to the outcome. Really see how it's affecting you from a deep level. And if you are a divine feminine being, part of that experience in a twin flame growth journey is to be able to then communicate your feelings to your partner without just like like splattering all over them and taking it out on them. Because the feelings for any divine feminine being, regardless of gender or any other sexual orientation, the point is that we have all this wisdom that lives within. The divine feminine tends to be more of a being, the masculine is more of a doing type of energy. And so, as divine feminine beings, we're meant to use our emotions, our intuition, our psychic and spiritual gifts to enhance our experiences, to grow, to add to communities. And going back in civilization, that's what a lot of the women did. They took care of the children, they told stories. Some of them were more of like an oracle for the community. So there's so much wisdom, I think. And as we're on this love journey, to use the terms as tools, I think is the best way we can really navigate this, and that you, listener, can manifest the divine love that you're really desiring to experience. So to remember that you don't have to be attached to your twin flame or even to a soulmate, because honestly, I think when we zoom out, everyone wants love, but they want someone who's going to be able to grow with them and go on that journey with them, support them, encourage them, and be able to build a life that you want together, as opposed to it feeling like at some point it's just too hard. And I really do believe that that love is out there for anyone who wants it. Like the angels are so supportive of that. And I share my story as an example. Like the way things unfolded with Sean was better than I could have ever imagined. It's because it was real. And the angels and the divine beings, they want you to know that that's what happens when you let go and detach, whether you're going through a breakup or, like I said, you're still kind of navigating what was that twin flame experience, what was that past romantic relationship. Whatever you can do to really get clear on what it is you desire, the angels and the divine guides, they're gonna bring you a relationship and a loving experience that is better than anything you could have imagined, because it's orchestrated by the divine and you're not controlling it.
It's so true. And I feel like sometimes the twin flame is an initiator to get you ready for that high level partnership. I feel like that is a
Yeah.
big aspect of the journey that a lot of people are on. And also, too, I think it's important to be said that maybe you are married to your twin flame or you are in union with them, and that has been part of your journey. Like, that's also very real. And that
Yes.
is 100% possible to come into union if both parties are equal and willing participants. And that's part of your higher soul contract for yourself.
Exactly. And that's why I said when we started to talk about the concept of divine partner or your person, the ideal love that you want to manifest in romance, that the guides like to say it can be a soulmate, it can be a twin flame. It's there's no one else that is going to tell you like this is what it has to be. It really needs to come from what you feel is good and healthy and in alignment for you. And just to quickly define what a karmic partner is for anyone who's been listening, that's like, okay, but what's that? A karmic partner, I like to describe it as you feel like you're stuck in a cycle. So for anyone who's watching, they can see my hands just going around in a circle on the same level. You're not spiraling up. You're not necessarily spiraling down. I mean, you might, but the idea of a karmic partner is just two people who made a soul contract to come together in love and have romance, date, whatever the soul contract means and looks like in the physical world, and they're healing, they're growing and healing from karma. And I mean, we are all going to have things that we heal from and grow with the people that are in our life long term. But the main thing to kind of attach your mind to discern between what's a karmic partner, what's a soulmate, what's a twin flame, how can I use these tools? Karmic partner, to just kind of wrap it up, is you're stuck in a cycle. Soulmate, it feels harmonious, expansive, like home. And twin flame is a mirror, it awakens you. So those are the really easy summarized ways to discern.
And I think if you're wondering how to know whether that person you're thinking of is a twin flame or a karmic partner, to me, like,
Mm-hmm.
beyond a shadow of a doubt, because the experience is unlike anything you've ever experienced before. And that's one of the craziest aspects of it that I just want to talk about a little bit, is that
Mm-hmm.
the spiritual significance of the relationship, the synchronicities, the weird things that happen, the telepathy, the shared energetic bond, it's unlike anything you've experienced before. And again, you will know because it's such a unique and different experience than just like that random person, that you dated for 2 weeks that ended. Yeah. And the other really interesting thing about the twin flame dynamic is that because there is this shared mission or shared soul aspects, that relationship, there are infinite possibilities. So it may end up evolving into a friendship. It may end up evolving into some kind of business connection or career connection. It may end up unfolding into a future connection in the long run. You don't know. And I think that's what's important to be said, is there will be some sort of connection that with a karmic partner is just going to kind of disappear, when you close the door on that relationship. But with the twin flame, that relationship does leave an impact on both people. And it can just be really interesting when you're reflecting on the different relationships that you've been in, when you're considering whether this person was a twin flame or a karmic partner, that there is this like very real lasting impact that it does have on you for the long run.
Yes, I love everything you said, Emily. And I also just want to give listeners a tip to just really empower yourself. Whatever you felt like was the experience for you, believe in that, because from what I've learned from my own journey, like you will be revealed over time what the divine truth was. So for me, like I said, it was in the Akashic Records experiences in those sessions where I was asking the guidance, hey, can you tell me and help me understand why X happened, why Z? But you also might just hear a song and be like, whoa, that feels like this. And it might not even be your twin flame, it could be another ex, like this ex talking to you. Really empower yourself to believe in whatever you're receiving as that guidance, because that is for you. It's meant to be healing for you, whatever it is. At the end of the day, whether it's a twin flame, a soulmate, a karmic, whatever your past is in romance, those people, those souls, you signed up, you created a soul contract with them because you both knew you were going to help each other grow and evolve. And that's really what the romantic and any relationship boils down to, is at the end of the day, even if it doesn't last long term, there was a spiritual purpose. There was something, some way that they added to your life and helped you to get on, as we said before, your highest timeline, that beautiful divine path. So trust yourself and don't beat yourself up or feel like you did anything wrong or place blame, whether it's on, like I said, a twin flame or a past ex, soulmate, karmic, whatever. Like, I think coming into this perspective and this understanding that everything happened for you the way it was meant to because it happened is one of the best ways we can think about it, that everyone's always doing their best. And if we take it from that perspective, I think it opens us up as individuals to really take whatever silver lining and gold nuggets of wisdom we can from those past experiences and clarify what we want in the future so you can manifest. The more clear you are on what you want, the easier it is to actually manifest that, whether it's in love or anything else. I like to describe it as when you're a clear vessel, it's like you're a lightning bolt. And so you're going to magnetize everything to you. And why wouldn't you want that in love and all other areas of life? I think we all want that.
Oh my gosh, completely. And I feel like the twin flame dynamic too helps you become more of your true self, which
Yes.
therefore helps you prepare for your divine life partnership. Because the more that you can be your truest self and know what you want and what you need in a relationship, you're going to attract the divine life partner who is a frequency match to who you really are.
100%. Totally. And if you feel like your journey has been all over the place, one of the metaphors that I gave a friend in college about dating was sometimes it feels like you're on an elevator, and some people will manifest like all these divine experiences, like one after the other, whether it's they want friends with benefits, they manifest that, they get it. They want a long term relationship or short term, like they manifest that, they get it. But it doesn't matter how you experience things, if it's what you want, what you don't want, like it really is all happening for you. And that's been one of the downloads I've received as I've grown into everything I've created for my business to offer to people, that everything in love is happening for us the exact way it's meant to. Even if at the time we feel like, oh my God, why didn't that thing work out? Or I wanted it to be this way, but it wasn't. Like, and people say this all the time, you'll look back in a few years and you'll understand why it had to happen that way. It's just sometimes in the moment we can't understand because we're not meant to.
Yeah. And the biggest advice I can give you is if you're so enmeshed or wrapped up in a love dynamic, whether that be with a karmic partner or the twin flame or a soulmate, you gotta detach. You gotta give yourself some room to breathe and the connection some room to breathe. I know from being in it that that can be one of the hardest things to do. It's really uncomfortable. It forces you to face some of your deepest shadows. But the detachment aspect of things, where you focus on yourself and you focus on your journey and your work and your mission and building a life for yourself that you love, is going to show you very clearly whether that person is a good match for you or not. And then you can make a decision and choice for yourself from that place.
Yes, 100%. And what if everything that happened for you on your journey of love, what if it wasn't because you were ever unworthy of love, but because you're so worthy of love and because you deserve to experience everything you desire in a romantic relationship. So anything that isn't quote unquote it before you get to that it, whether it's marriage or whatever it is that your listener desiring to experience in love, what if it's because it's all leading up to this incredible ending, like I said, that you haven't even imagined before because you had to go through all the growth and all that journey to get to the point where you're finally crystallized, or like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, where you're finally receptive to the actual thing, the actual ideal love relationship, and then you manifest it. I think that's part of the magical part of the journey of love is things are meant to surprise us. And one more tangible experience I can give to relate to that is before Sean, I was never, and I mean never, interested in a guy who had facial hair. He popped up on my page, he liked my picture, and I was like, "Oh, he has such kind eyes and a kind heart." Like, it didn't matter that he had facial hair, but before, I literally had never dated anyone who had facial. I was not interested in it. So it's like I'm just sharing that to show that sometimes things can really surprise you the way that they come together, and that's part of the fun. It's meant to be a magical experience that we enjoy too.
And if you're listening to this, like you are a high level soul on a beautiful soul journey, like you are such a magical being that you have designed and crafted and created this magical life for yourself, right? You've done that for yourself at a high level. The spirit guides are supporting you on that journey.
Mm-hmm.
Your love story, if you haven't found it yet, it's going to unfold for you in miraculous and surprising and divine and beautiful ways. And I know it can be hard to see that if maybe you've been single for a while or if things haven't been working out yet. But trust the process. The sooner you lean into that trust and surrender and, like, yeah, I know that I'm going to have that divine life partnership that I've always dreamed of, that Hallmark movie romance. Like, I know that's going to be for me. That's when you soften, that's when you detach, and that's when we create space for you to meet that person.
Yes, yes, yes.
Nicole, do you have any other tips for us for manifesting divine life partnership?
One of the ones I love to give people is whether you're in person or on a dating app, to look in the person's eyes as a spiritual being. And I'm going to guess that all of you beautiful souls are because you're listening to this podcast. We know we can see what's in someone's heart. They say the eyes are the window to the soul for a reason. So that is one of my favorite tips to give to people is look in someone's eyes and see, does it feel like they have a kind heart? Like, does it feel like a good match? To really see if you can feel the goodness, the genuine divinity in them. And another thing that I've said before, but just to summarize again, is to really get clear on what you want to desire. So that can look like journaling, that can look like getting into an Akashic record session. I do have some specific offers if anyone wants to manifest love. I have a love manifestation circle that you are welcome to join into. And the first one is 50% off for January of 2026, whenever you're listening to this. So if you want to join that, that's one of my favorite things to do is help people get clear on what you desire. Because when we have that understanding, we're able to, like I said, better manifest it. And journaling is only really one part. We definitely want to clear the energy. That's what I love to use the Akashic Records, also light language for, Reiki healing, whatever we can do to just clear up the gunk of the past. Because again, if there's something really blocking your channel, well, we got to get it out so that you can be more clear on a mental level to understand what happened, but then you can move forward with more clarity too. So, yeah, I would say those are my two biggest tips is to use your discernment to look at people's eyes and see how they feel to you. Trust your intuition. See how it feels in your body, especially for any woman listening. I've had experiences where something felt off in my body and I didn't know why, but I trusted it. And what I've downloaded is that's always protection. So always trust your intuition, the gut feelings or the emotions that you're getting, even if you're on a date and then something's like, like, no, got to get out of here. Trust that. That's protection. And yeah, get clear on what you desire so you can manifest it.
Yeah. I think it's also really key that the right person or people will feel very safe being
Yes.
with them and in their energy, in their presence. I
Hmm.
think it can help to see the twin flame and the karmic partner can be very activating and it's very intense. And there's like a slow, calm safety to being with someone who is a really good vibrational match for you.
Yes, exactly. And that's where that feeling part comes in. Like, if you are feeling safe and you're out on a date, that can be a huge green light for you. And like you described, if there's something that feels off, you want to trust that, because if even if you're just in a short-term dating situation, like if it feels aligned, continue to go about it, see how it unfolds. But immediately the moment when something feels off, if you can trust that and really stick to it, then you're going and break it off, whatever that means, whatever that looks like, short term or long term. Well, you're creating a space to attract your person. If even if you've been in something for years and you feel like, oh, this isn't my person, well, you technically need to break up with them so your person can come in. And the beautiful thing I like to tell people about that too is, if that is you, listener, that you're also setting that other person, that soon to be ex, free to meet their person too. You're not causing them harm. Like, there is someone for everyone. And if that's like, if there's one takeaway I could give you, it's just to believe in love and believe that your person is out there, and trust what you're guided to do in love and all of life.
That is one of the biggest pieces of guidance and advice I can give as a psychic woman to anyone listening on the love journey is that every relationship, even the divine life partnership, has a natural end and conclusion. Every single one. Nothing is permanent. And when you start to recognize that everything is going to have a natural end and conclusion, that helps you as a psychic woman, because sometimes when you are entering into a new relationship, new connection, you can see the end before the beginning. You know the outcome, or you're afraid of the outcome, or you're avoiding wanting to know. And that can create a lot of fear. I've been there. I've been there, going on a first date with someone and I'm trying to see, the future timeline and whether or not it's going to work out. And that I have found that to be very triggering. And I have also found it very triggering when people have asked me, oh, well, this new person that you're dating, is that your person? Like, are you going to marry them? And I'm like, I literally just went on 2 dates. Like, we can figure it out. So, what I'm trying to say here is to lean into the belief that if everything has a natural ending, a natural conclusion, I can trust that this is going to unfold in the exact way that it needs to. And we are going to get to know each other better in the third dimension. We are going to see if we are a good match before my mind, my monkey mind, the ego mind, is going to step in and say, oh, well, we need to decide right now the outcome of this and where it's going to go. Allow it to have a natural unfoldment and let yourself breathe. Let yourself grow with it and see where it goes. Just freaking see where it goes. You'll
Yeah,
you'll
have
be fine.
fun dating. Don't forget about the fun of the physical experience. And it's so normal for our minds to do that, cuz yeah, especially as a psychic, as an intuitive, it's like sometimes we want to know. But as one of my favorite TV shows, The Good Witch, she's a psychic intuitive, it's called The Good Witch. And that's the advice that her friend gives her is, I know that you can see things in the future, but you need to just be in the present moment, I think, with this, and see what happens. Don't try to look ahead. We when we're always looking at the future, if you're not being paid to do a session, let's say, like that can put you in a state of anxiety, and that can also change even how you're understanding, comprehending, and perceiving the present moment. So to really enjoy that ride, because I think it also makes, again, that happy ending, whatever that looks like for you, more enjoyable. And when you reach the happy ending too, like for anyone who's not there yet, who hasn't manifested their person or is out there dating, like when you get there, it's still a fun adventure and journey. Like that's, I think, the dream, is that it feels like this continuous expanding fun experience, as opposed to like, oh, we're done. I mean, like, yes, okay, in the Disney fairy tales, it's like, and they lived happily ever after, the end. But I mean, even theoretically, if we think about that, like there's other things that they're going on and doing then. Like maybe they're having kids, maybe they're, learning how to run the kingdom, whatever it is. So remember that adventure is out there for you too, even after you've manifested your happy ending. Continue to have fun and enjoy your physical reality, your physical experience. That's part of what is so beautiful about living here on earth.
Love is such an adventure. Yes, absolutely. It's one of the greatest adventures of your lifetime. So enjoy it. Slow down. Enjoy the ride. Trust that your person will make their appearance when they are meant to. You're not in control. I know we like to think that we are in control. You are not in control. But you do still need to put yourself out there at the same time. I think that is important to be said, that if you are wanting to manifest love, you are going to energetically need to put yourself out there in some capacity.
Yes, you can ask yourself, what's the best next step I can take to manifest love? Is it dating? Is it doing a healing session and then going on dates? Like, what is it? And then do that. That's manifestation 101 is you need to know what you want and then take the inspired action.
Absolutely. 100%. I love this so much. Nicole, is there anything else on the topic of love and manifesting love that we haven't spoken about today?
I would say just the importance of communication and being honest with your partner, which I think really starts with being honest with yourself. Since I've really been in a relationship with Sean, it's been a really beautiful unfolding for me to understand that I can be vulnerable. I can show up and share my feelings with him. He's not afraid to hold space for it. He can hold space for all my feelings, but the way that I communicate that to him really determines if we're going to have a calm conversation about it where there's space for my feelings and then space for him to share his thoughts or his feelings too, or if it is a little bit of an argument. And one of the things that we actually set very early on in our relationship was we didn't, just our personal preference, we didn't want to have yelling in our dynamic. So that's been an experience that we have really figured out together of how do we co-create that? How do we allow there to be no yelling, but space for each of us to process our emotions? Because I mean, it's not like I'm happy all the time. Like none of us are. There's challenges that come in life, and you want to be able to sit with your emotions, to process them, do whatever you need to do that. And so that's been something that's been a big game changer for me, I'd say personally, but specifically experiencing that with Sean, that like he doesn't have a problem ever with listening to my emotions, but how I communicate it. So if you're a feminine or you're a woman listening to this, like know that you have a lot of power. You can communicate your emotions without it causing a huge conflict. It's safe for you. And that's been a big learning experience for me. It's safe to be vulnerable with someone who really cares about you and loves you. It just takes courage to do it.
Yes, 100%. And I think getting clear too on what you prefer and like with communication when you are dating is so important,
Mhm.
because I can say that I've met a variety of people with a variety of communication styles, and I've had to learn like what I like and what I don't like.
Oh yeah. There's a wild mix out there, guys.
And it's easier early on if you know what you want in terms of communication style, and also communicating that to that person that you've just recently met around how you operate and how you communicate, I think is so important, because it can help you filter out the wrong person very early on in the connection.
Oh my God, yeah. One experience I feel called to share to give all of you a laugh as well is one of the earliest experiences, well, or an earlier experience I had in college was with a guy I was dating. And something kind of felt off. And I was like, oh, I want to see what happens. Like, I still feels in alignment. Let's see. And so he sent me a nude butt selfie. And instead of being like, excuse me, like, what are you doing? Like, I mean, I was very shocked, and I was in the middle of classes at college. It wasn't like I was just, at home on a weekend. I was intentional and said, so what did you mean? Like, what was your intention with sending me this? So and so. And he told me, oh, I wanted to be passionate or whatever, spontaneous, whatever his reason was. And I said, okay, I understand that. That's very kind. I don't enjoy that. So can we redirect that energy in this way and express it this way. I'm open to receiving it in this way. Like, how does that feel to you? So it created a conversation. Now, just again, to give a laugh, I mean, he did do it again. So then I was like, okay, this is not in alignment for me. If he's not going to be able to respect this small boundary, how in the world is he going to respect the bigger boundaries? So I did break it off very quickly, and I, ended it by sayonara pretty quickly. But I just say that to share that when you do things with compassion and kindness and you're curious about the other person and what they're doing or why they're doing it, and you're still able to share how it made you feel, it can lead to a more expansive experience, at the very least for you. But if it's your person, it'll bring you two together. Because, like I said, someone who really truly respects and loves you and cares about you, they want to make you feel good. They want to add to your life. They're not going to do something that you don't want, like sending you nude butt mirror selfies in the middle of the day. So don't be afraid to use your voice to express what it is that you want directly to your partner sometimes too, and have that conversation. And at the very least, maybe you'll get a funny story out of it like I did.
100% hilarious. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, I literally got the words, "don't be afraid," tattooed on my arm. And I feel like that so speaks to this. Like, do not be afraid to tell the other person how you feel. Don't be afraid to communicate. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable, to put yourself out there. You guys, like, you've got all the healing tools. You've got all of the healing tools in the world. If your heart hurts, if someone does something that hurts you, you can heal from it. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. I know it's going to be painful in the moment, but the very least, communicate, talk to the other person, tell them how you feel, or tell them about something that they're doing that you don't like, set the boundary. Because at the end of the day, it's either going to bring that person closer to you or it's going to push them away. And if it's pushing them away, then they're not meant for you. And you can heal from that. So you'll be fine.
So beautifully said, Emily. Yeah. The more authentic you are, the more you see, I think, clearly who's for you and who's not. Simple as that.
Absolutely. Simple as that, 100%. Well, Nicole, this conversation has been so much fun. We may have to have you back on the show to talk more things love, because there's so many rabbit holes we could go down. But can you share with us a little bit about what you have going on in your business right now and where people can find you?
Yes. So I'm so excited to announce that I am starting some very specific love manifestation circles. So I will be doing that throughout next year, 2026. So whenever you listen to that, know that you can access that. Find me on Instagram at Nicole Naomi Sky Life. I'm on TikTok at Nicole Naomi Sky. And my website, where you can view all my events, is naomiskylife.com. So the love manifestation circle will be you come, you journal, and you get clear on what you want in love. But we're also going to cleanse your energy with some Reiki. You'll receive an activation with light language and my specific unique energy healing modality. And it will just help you clarify and see the divine truth so you can manifest more easily and clearly. And the other ways that I would love to work with anyone who is looking for some help with manifesting love is I have something called a love coaching pack. It's a 4-session transformation experience. And what we do is we cleanse your energy, we give you space to talk some things out in a session mentally, and make sure that you are changing how you feel and what you believe. So you can be a match for the person that you desire, the partner that you're wanting to manifest. And if you want to start smaller, I do also have a single session called a Love Manifestation Akashic Experience that you can just kind of see what it's like to clear the energy with me in the records and just see if we're a good match to work together.
Magical. Thank you, Nicole. Love this so much. And she is such a light. She's so gifted and talented. So go see her for a session. Of course, Nicole, we have to wrap up the episode by hearing about being a mystic. So, what does being a mystic mean to you?
Being a mystic to me means you see the magic in life. So that, I think, at least in my perspective, makes life even more fun. Being a mystic is, I think, a great way to add some joy into your daily life.
Yes, couldn't agree more. Any final tips for living a mystical life?
Be curious. Be curious about the people, the things you like, what you want out of life, and don't be afraid to wonder and ponder, because I think creating that space allows sometimes those intuitive downloads to pop in.
Yes. Beautiful. Well, thank you, dear listener, for enjoying this conversation with us about divine love. And the divine love portal for this podcast is now closed, but your divine love portal for yourself in your life is very much open and active. So enjoy going on that journey and feel free to stay in touch with either of us. We hope this episode resonated with you.
Thank you so much, Emily, for having me. Thank you, listeners, for being there. And I hope that all of you get to manifest the love that you desire. I'm sending you all infinite love.